We have some significant changes to report in regards to real estate here in Southwest Florida. We're gonna get into everything, but I'm telling you, things are getting quite interesting. So every single month, if you watch the channel, you see I do a report for Southwest Florida. We do both Lee County, which is Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Estero, and Bonita Springs, and Lehigh Acres, and then we do Naples, which Collier County, Naples, sort of one and the same. And so we talk about those, compare those year over year. And first of all, if you've watched these, you know that I want to provide as much value as possible to you so that you can make the best decisions in your life with your real estate investments. And that's what we're all about. So if you do this, thank you. And please do me a favor and like the videos and subscribe, because that really helps the channel get seen by more people. So thanks for that. But let's get you some good info. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of everything. So as we jump into this, there's some interesting things to report. So in Collier County, we're going to look at the sold properties first, and there are 396. These are single family homes that sold in the past month, and that's actually down 15% compared to last year. So fewer properties selling there. And then in Lee County, that's 1,193, and that's down 9%. So we're down 15% in Collier, down 9% in Lee in terms of actual properties that closed. Now next, we're going to talk about the median pricing. So this is median pricing of single family homes, and this is quite astonishing, especially what's happening in Collier County. So as you can see, the median price is $789,050. It's showing that we're down 4% year over year. That's accurate. But if you remember last month, the median price was $950,000. So it's down 17% in 1 month, which is very significant. Now, the month before, it was much lower than the 950. So I'm not sure what happened in the month of, it really been like May, June stats, but the price went way up to a record high, and now it's back down to more of where it was and where it should be, but it's a 17% decrease month over month. And then in Lee County, we're at $400,000 right on the button, and that's actually down 7% year over year. And last month, that was about $415,000. So that is creeping down, whereas Collier took a big shift down in the median price. Really an interesting thing happening there. Okay, days on market, 57. We're staying about the same, month over month, but that's up 33% year over year. And then 53 days on market, that's up 51%. And days on market are like the active days. So this is how long, if you're looking to sell your home, that's what the average is from the time that a home goes on the market until it goes under contract, not until it actually sells, totally sells. The new listings, so 456 in Collier, that's down 6%. And then we have 1,566 in Lee County, and that's down 4%. So slightly fewer listings coming on the market. And then our pending inventory, this one's really interesting. So our pending inventory in Collier County, we have 1,271 homes that are pending, which is up 85% over last year. And then in Lee County, we have 2,442, which is up 21%. So, I've done a lot of analysis into this, and here's the thing. We saw that the closed sales are less than what they were last year, but the number of properties that are currently under contract is significantly higher than what they are last year. So there's some interesting things going on there. I believe a lot of that has to do with a lot of the contracts are taking longer to close these days. And so technically we'll just have more that are pending in a 30-day time frame that are, because they roll over into the next potential month. Because we're seeing a lot more situations where a seller's going to consider a home sale contingency, or they're going to consider a lease back or something where it can make the process of closing on a property last longer. And so that could be what's going on, why we have so many more pending, pending inventory at this time. Now, here's where things get interesting. We have 11.6 months worth of inventory in Collier County, which is up 152%. So that's nearly 1 year's worth of inventory given the pace of sales in Collier County. So that's pretty crazy. If we get over 6 months, that turns into major buyer, territory. That's where the buyers start to have a lot more say, a lot more control in what happens in the negotiations. We're definitely seeing that in Collier County. And then in Lee County, we're at 7.2 months, and that's up 76% year over year. So the same thing applies here, where we've got a scenario where the buyer is starting to gain or has already gained a significant amount of control. We're seeing sellers who are willing to reduce the price. We're seeing sellers who are willing to give concessions. We're seeing sellers who are willing to take contingencies, like a home sale contingency, that just 2 years ago, none of that would have been on the table whatsoever. So the days of the multiple offers and the scarcity mindset of having to really get in and put an offer right away, that has gone away. And so there's what's happened in a lot of times is people have lost a little bit of motivation to make a decision. Now, I'll tell you a quick story that puts this into context for us. So I studied abroad in Seville, Spain, when I was in college. And I remember, like, in Seville, they have small little stores on like street corners, and it's your little market. They've got fresh bread, but they also have, dental hygiene. Think of it like mom and pop Walgreens in a lot of ways that offers, fresh food. So Walgreens or CVS. And so they don't typically, they have some, but they don't have like giant Walmarts or Targets or supermercados as they call them. And the one day is like, I'm running out of deodorant, and that's a problem that we wanted to fix. And so I went into that little corner market, that corner store, and I found the personal hygiene aisle, went there, and I found where the deodorant was. Now, what was interesting about this scenario is that when I looked at the deodorant that was available, one said para hombres and one said para mujeres. 4 men, 4 women. Those were my options. I had 2 options. It was very clear to me at that moment which one I needed to choose. It's like, okay, I'll take the para hombres, and I go check out, and I've got deodorant. Easy decision. If you go into a Walmart or a Target in the United States of America, and you go into the deodorant aisle, you have so many options, hundreds of different options of deodorant, and then you start looking at what ingredients are in them. It just creates, how long does this say I won't sweat for? And there's all, you're starting to get into the details because you have so many options to choose from. And what happens in those scenarios is that makes it more difficult for people to make decisions when you have so many options. Now, what's happened here is that we, at the lowest point in the market in terms of inventory, and is really the highest point of activity and surge in pricing, was 2022. That's what we experienced in the real estate market. And at that time, there were only 2,565 properties that were available in our MLS in all of Southwest Florida that were available to purchase. Like, that's it. And our pace of sales at that time was about 12 to 1,300 going pending on any given week at that time. 2021, there were more selling, but in 2022 is when prices really started to go up. And so that put us at about 2 weeks worth of inventory. So there was not a lot to choose from at that time. And so it was easy, and people needed to make a quick decision before that property wasn't available any longer. Fast forward to today, and what's happening with inventory is not that it's excessive. Our inventory is not excessive, and in fact, it's sort of where it was before COVID even happened, but we're hovering right around 16,000 properties available in the MLS. And so people have more options out there, and they're feeling like they want to analyze more things, they're feeling less urgency to make decisions, and it's sort of like going down the deodorant aisle, right? Like, I've got so many decisions, it's harder to make. Eventually they make a decision, but it's not necessarily quick. So that's why you're seeing the days on market grow. That's why you're seeing people be hesitant around things. And then the other thing that's going on here is that we also are in a year of a presidential election. And so a presidential election every 4 years, I've been doing this for 18 years now. I've seen 4 of them. And what happens is two parties, they're fighting, and their job is to convince their people, their people, that if this other party gets elected, the world is going to end. The United States is going to end and it's over. And so what ends up happening is you have all this dispute back and forth, all this rhetoric, and at the end of the day, people just feel uneasy about things. And if you feel uneasy about things, you don't want to make a big decision, like a real estate decision. And so we see a lot of that, but the practical sense around all of this is, whoever becomes the president, has no direct impact in what happens in a local real estate market. There's a lot bigger factors that are at play than just that one person. Now, sure, there's policies that can happen, that they can do things to promote growth and, all of that. I'm not disputing that, but it's not going to drastically change the whole outcome of everything. And the other thing that I'll remind you is that, if people thought that I spoke with people in 2015 who thought, if Trump got elected, that the end of America as they knew it, and so that they paused and they did not buy real estate at that time. Well, 2016 to 2020, actually, real estate prices continued to increase. So that was kind of interesting. And then 2020 came and Joe Biden became president, and then real estate prices continued to increase after that. And so the point in it is that person didn't necessarily make the influence one way or another. It was other factors. COVID had a big impact on that. The way that the states are governed had a big impact on that. And so these are the things that really influence everything. And so if it's one party or another, we wouldn't have seen the increase if both parties were in control. We saw an increase throughout both of them through the majority. Obviously, things are coming down a little bit now, so that is happening. But it's not like the rug has gotten pulled out from underneath it. And so what I'm getting at with this is that, generally speaking, if people are fearful, that's when there's actually really good opportunities that come about. And the savvy people, the savvy buyers, are the ones who are willing to make a move on something and know that they have the ability to negotiate. And keep in mind, and I've talked about this before, the state of Florida is still doing the Hometown Heroes program. So there's a lot of incentives for people. That's also all first-time home buyers to purchase real estate. So there's a lot of things that are going on, but also a lot of, we still see the pending inventory is up significantly. There's still people buying and selling homes. That is still happening every single day. So my final piece of advice in all of this is that you should live your life. You should live your life and make the decision best for you at that time. The people trying to time a market, if it's going up or it's going down, and all of these things, we're worrying about some of the wrong things. Most of the time, real estate is an investment for the long term. Real estate, unless you're a flipper or something like that, it's not something that you're looking to buy and sell within a couple of months or a year or anything like that. It's real estate over the long term. And so if we start looking at things like this, we can stop living in fear, which a lot of people do, especially in election years, and start making the decisions that are right for you, right? The lifestyle decisions. Is this a good area that I want to be invested in the long term, etc. So I hope that helps you understand what's going on in the market. I hope it gives you a little insight into the psychology of everything. And do me a favor, if you could comment below and tell me your thoughts on things, as far as the real estate market, what's going on there, what areas of interest do you have, that would be really great. So thanks so much for watching. I know this was a little bit longer one than normal, but there's just a lot of great stuff that I wanted to convey. So make it a blessed day, and thanks so much.